Hello Infinite Way. Muchas arrivant, y es solid, vuelve a estar hoy a mucha ni. Every day. Mucha, Mr. Mucha Capuncha, da Margaret Mucha ni. Mucha manier Capuncha, Yes, Mr. Capuncha, ja, Mucha Capuncha. Nee. Nee, poepetje. Yeah, you have touched my control key and that shut down my healing. It's quite annoying sometimes. What do you expect what I'm gonna do? You're using my hand, sorry. That's the last thing that I'm doing. If they're really, yeah. There's also really, because this. Ja, maar temperatuur kunnen verschillen. We zeggen van kijk. Die vluchten voor een sandwich every day. Seven to 6. We've lowered to 53.
Getting towards the first side of things, and you haven't even done the other side yet.
I've never had potato.
But just make that potato change ethnicity. Gosh.
Potato skin on before, and if I have, can't remember. It's not something I would.
Look at that one! Look at that one! Looks like the bottom of a shoe.
Let's just see if. Pick a big one up with the fork. Oh!
God!
That's all a bit better than I expected. So, yes, I think they are all done. So what happens?
I think they're all done. I think they're fed up. They're not done, they're fed up.
Very hot. But I'm going to put them on a low heat because that's potato. Even though it were off the fork, it's still a bit hard inside.
Because things need enough of them. Like, you could boil them for a little bit first, and then fry them. And then it's crispy and the texture is nice on the inside. So boiling them first would have probably been better. And I think, it doesn't really matter with the skin on. When you're just purely frying, it's harder to cook the potato just by purely chucking it in hot butter,
So, yes, it was a bit hard inside. Like Kay said, you were nice, she could taste a lot of salty on it. She didn't say, but she could taste a lot of salty on it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I think I can get through one more.
Happy I'm back cooking again, and today I'm going to be making a chicken dish.
Alright, it's listed as chicken curry. Chicken curry is very close to my heart. Please get this one right.
That's full.
Des centaines d'autres personnes, je reçois des chèques Amazon comme ceci tous les mois et pourtant je ne pas chez Amazon, je ne prends pas de produit de luxe, je leur achète quelqu'un de complexe, rien tout ça. En fait, je veux un produit 100% métal et ce produit en particulier, je l'ai nourri une seule fois et Amazon est produit pour marcher comme tout.
I don't think I was supposed to cook the chicken, but I did. And he said,
Yeah, you can cook it through, and then add it to the sauce. You know, that's fine.
to cut it up in strips. Cut it up in strips. Hot fresh and onions. Not very fresh.
Never been so close to an onion. There, the eye of an onion.
To slice the onion. Can't use that's the main thing after that.
So, like, my eyes are watering, and I'm not even cutting it. That's how close I am to Kane's onion.
Now,
When you're dicing an onion for a curry, you want to dice it really small. Like, there's just going to be massive chunks of onion in it.
yes, I've left the skin on. So I've left the skin on and that's it.
But you put the whole chicken in there. Like, look there. That's like the end of the chicken thigh. Bone. Just pure bone. Is that minced garlic from the jar? Why is there so much space in that Tupperware box and a tiny little bit of garlic in the corner? So much air in that box. I hope you chopped it in and you're not storing it like that. That garlic's got more living space than me.
Captain, and as you all know,
What's that? That's burnt onion and chicken, isn't it? It's just been cooking so long. Look at it, it's all burnt. Oh.
not to take the connector off. You just use it and then
Yeah, it keeps all these spoons together, but in the meantime, your chicken is in ham. It's burning!
he says to add 3 tablespoons
of firefighter. That's what you're going to need. You're going to need a firefighter in a minute. Oh, I dread to think what the underside of all that meat and onions looks like.
of chicken tikka masala.
She's only putting a tablespoon of pre-made sauce, and that's going to be the curry. That's the curry.
That's what I can't actually see doing.
I can see it because I'm in it.
Just say tikka masala.
You're meant to have the whole jar. Just make it yourself. Like you fry up some like onions, and you get some like turmeric, cumin, garam masala, and salt, pepper, a bit of coriander. Like mix it all in with the onions, a bit of tomato paste, and fill that shit with cream and garlic. Boom! Basic curry. Let's have the whole thing! It's never gonna be a sauce!
I've chopped tomato.
But the chicken's so burnt, it's leaving the pan. It's trying to run back from the pot.
But the pot and anything. So, I'm adding all these and just keep mixing it down and hopefully it should,
It's going in the back of the oven. It's going down behind the oven, and you're not even triggered by it. It's going everywhere. That curry is leaving home. Oh, so
Should all do it. Right,
God, it looks like it needs to be healed, not eaten.
so the link in the description to my merchandise. If you like what you see, please keep viewing it. If you want to give me a thumbs up, please do.
You were there, thumbs up. You got a thumbs up on your meal. You got any match? I did buy one of those shirts. Yeah. She's got a whole range, look. She's got phone cases. Oh man, I really want a phone case. A case go in phone case. I'm gonna get one. Look, top comment. Shut the stove off. Guys, first, because I know you're gonna watch this, right? You are the sweetest human ever, okay? And I think just in your channel gets great views, and there's so many people in the comments that are like, you know, we all make our jokes, but at the end of the day, I think people really like you. They want to help you. I am willing to redo your vision and get you tools to take your channel to the next level, because, you know, you've given me so many views over the years, react to you, and letting me react to you. I feel like I not only do I owe you that, but I sort of want to help you. I want you to have a kitchen of your dreams, and I'm willing to do that for you. And you know, just get in touch with me. If we can't collab, we can't cook together, then let's get you at least a new one for the love of shit. But yeah, it's not good, is it? But we all love Kay. She feels like family on this channel. Guys, like I said, off the first, we are going to be watching Kay's cooking, and if that does well, we'll find other internet recipes that are like awful, and we'll follow them as well, and maybe even then cook them properly afterwards. But I am going to go a chicken tea. I have to. I feel like I need to cook one now and show everyone how it's done, because I won't see it. Guys, like our recipe channel, like our Kay's cooking. Go buy some Kay merch. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed.
Deze dropshippers in 2025 gaan naar AliExpress, vinden hun producten en creëren op hun eigen webshop. Maar werkt deze strategie nog tegen? Nee, en dat is ook de reden dat steeds meer mensen echt succes doen met e-commerce tegenwoordig. Ik had het wel eens gehoord, maar juist omdat het makkelijk is.
We are hearing more about American citizens being picked up by immigration agents, and in every case we have looked into, officials tell us it is because that person interfered with an enforcement action.
So, as ICE works to make America safer by arresting criminals and gang members, the agents themselves are under attack. And with videos of both illegal immigrants and the U.S. citizens helping them getting arrested, activists claim ICE is out of control. However, Homeland Security says when a criminal alien ambushes officers with a weed whacker, they should expect to get taken into custody. Which, as you're about to see, is exactly what these protesters and criminals want.
New here at 6, the father of 3 U.S. Marine sons is at the center of a disturbing viral video that shows immigration agents arresting him. He was taken into custody while working a landscaping job in Santa Ana.
Those were the cries of Andrea Velez's sister and mother as they watched her being detained by who they assume were immigration agents, as a growing crowd of protesters is yelling.
It makes us feel angry, it makes us feel sad, it makes us feel frustration.
Just because of the color of our skin, they think that we're criminals.
This is the woman that was seen on camera being carried away and forcefully taken away. Tonight we are hearing from the Department of Homeland Security. They accuse her of a federal agent.
People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with threats to their family and themselves.
It's full, this one.
As you said, they're being threatened, their families are being threatened.
So One U.S. citizen arrested by ICE says it was worth it if it helped a criminal illegal alien escape. And what nobody's talking about is arrests like this right here have led to a fake news blitz, convincing people that ICE is out there going after U.S. citizens. And to the activists and rioters who've already decided ICE are a bunch of thugs deporting innocent people, headlines like Marine vet's wife detained by ICE just add fuel to the fire that is low information activism. And these activists aren't interested in watching these videos to learn that if a judge orders you removed from America, but you instead defy that order, marry a veteran, and have children, you can still be deported. And while these events could be used to educate people that nobody is above the law, they've got radical activists thinking our country has fallen apart. And it very well may fall apart if these activists get their way. After all, millions of unvetted people entered America's wide open border over the last 4 years. Some of them gang members, some of them former prisoners and terror watch list suspects, who've then gone on to commit the worst crime you or I could imagine. And if people like this are allowed to stay here, the country as a whole will change in ways nobody wants. Which brings us to the real reason activists and criminals are both out there ambushing ICE agents and attacking them when they try to make arrests. These people, they don't have any respect for the rule of law in our country, and they think that ICE as an agency is against the law for some reason. Not realizing that if ICE goes to a Home Depot or to a car wash, they're carrying out a pre-planned targeted operation looking for a dangerous individual. Yet sometimes the bad guy isn't alone, and other illegal immigrants are found at the scene, which leads to multiple arrests. But as you're about to see, there's a major effort underway to twist reality.
New here at 6, a father of 3 U.S. Marine sons is at the center of a disturbing viral video that shows immigration agents arresting him.
I felt a lot of anger. I was really mad, and then I was really sad.
Alejandro Blanco says his father was working a landscaping job at IHOP up Edinger Avenue and Ritchie Street on Saturday when he was approached by agents.
Now, to most people, that looks and sounds like the worst thing in the entire world, and some networks stop their reporting before showing you what happened next.
The Department of Homeland Security stated Blanco assaulted federal law enforcement with the weed whacker. DHS says while trying to detain him, Blanco swung the gardening tool directly at the agent's face and then raised it again at the agent's intersection.
This is about the size of a weed whacker, and the guy on the news was running with it, holding it in an upright position, swinging it towards officers. And he only broke off the attack when officers deployed crowd control sprays. Incredibly frightening. And then this individual tries to enter a vehicle and evade law enforcement while still holding this weed whacker. And it's wild that some networks completely omitted this footage. On top of that, anyone law-abiding, if approached by federal agents, they wouldn't do that. They would drop that thing and stand still. But this was a truly terrifying turn of events. And in case you're wondering, this father of 3 U.S. Marines, he was in the country illegally, which means ICE did their job. Not to mention this person was obviously dangerous enough to try and make an attack run on armed federal agents. But as you're about to see, sometimes the people involved in these incidents deliberately. Want to hide the truth.
We are hearing more about American citizens being picked up by immigration agents, and in every case we have looked into, officials tell us it is because that person interfered with an enforcement action. But in this case of Andrea Velez this morning here in downtown Los Angeles, her family says that is nearly impossible. They say they had just dropped her off from work, they hadn't even gotten down the block, and they saw agents arrest her.
Their car didn't have license plate.
This video shows the 32-year-old U.S. citizen handcuffed and surrounded by officers as a growing crowd of protesters is yelling. Estrella Rosa says it happened mere seconds after they dropped her sister off in downtown Los Angeles. Nearby, an immigration enforcement was underway, but Velez now powerful on the ground.
So when you look at this picture right here and you see agents arresting this person, it's easy to just stop right there and say, oh, this agency's out of control, they're going after the wrong people, this is terrible. Especially when this person's immediate family also claims it's wrong. But let's do a little digging. The news does mention to us that this happened at the scene of an enforcement action carried out by ICE. And there's already a massive crowd of people here, all with their cell phones out. A crowd like that does not spontaneously appear. And although we aren't immediately told what this woman did to get arrested, we know she's here legally, which means she wasn't the target of this ICE operation, revealing that the only way to find yourself in handcuffs and in the back of a police car is to deliberately insert yourself into a situation in some random act of drive-by activism. But according to her immediate family, she may have been armed.
Her family is worried she might have had the pepper spray she always carries in her hand.
Interesting.
When the agents came towards her. Witnesses say no one asked her for her ID, but they're really convinced it's nothing she did. Her mom saying, the only thing wrong with her this morning was the color of her skin.
Just because of the color of her skin, they think that we're criminals. My sister was there, so they she left the car, so let's take her to
Okay, so as you're going to see very shortly, there is an actual reason why this person was detained. But do you see how the story is being twisted around? The family is saying, oh, well, she could have had pepper spray in her hand when the agents approached her. What they're not mentioning is that she's the one that inserted herself in this situation. If you see police making an arrest, you don't have to walk directly towards that incident. No, you can go around it and stay away and maintain safety distance. Apparently that didn't happen. And look, if any of us approach federal officers or police while they're trying to do their job and we had some sort of device in our hands that could injure them in some way, we all know what the result of that would be. And it wouldn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen or if you're in the country illegally. You're getting arrested. That's just how it works. But unfortunately for the immediate family of this woman, after they went on TV and accused ICE of profiling people and not doing their jobs and just going after folks because they might, quote-unquote, look different, the truth comes out.
We'll show you the video here. This is the woman seen on camera being
This is
carried
her.
away and forcibly taken away by those federal immigration agents. Now, up until just about a half an hour ago, we still had no idea what she was alleged to have done. Her attorney still had no idea what she was alleged to have done. Louis Rio is her attorney. He went to the federal detention center today to talk to her, wanted to bond her out, but said he didn't even know what she was being charged with in order to pay the bond. Tonight we are hearing from the Department of Homeland Security. They accuse her of punching a federal agent and resisting or preventing those agents from conducting their operation. Again.
So look at that. As it turns out, she was put in the back of a police car by federal agents because she assaulted those federal agents while they were trying to arrest somebody as part of a targeted enforcement operation. Now, does it really sound like she hasn't done anything to deserve getting arrested? Of course not. And this isn't even the fault of the news for spreading this narrative. This is the same network that covered the initial arrest. But activists are wasting no time twisting the truth, telling people that this count just proves that ICE agents are out there taking away U.S. citizens and that no one in America is safe, and therefore we all need to join them in their insurgency, which might help explain why these crazy activists are showing up at ICE operations all over the country.
Now I want to get to that other video that happened just before this video in the same location. Again, federal immigration agents, we believe, tackled the man in the middle of the street. These are the same agents that were involved in detaining the woman you saw in Lori's piece. Now, the woman who posted this video says she got it from a friend. She claims in the video this man is also a U.S. citizen and was defending a tamale vendor there on the street.
So is it any wonder why the National Guard and the Marines are being called into these sanctuary states and cities to help maintain law and order? Agents are under attack when they try to do their jobs in a way that no other law enforcement agency is in this country. ICE is essentially operating in hostile territory, and they face a guerrilla army of activists who look like everyday people but believe the low information narrative about how ICE is supporting Americans. These people truly think they're saving the world and standing up for freedom and democracy. And what's certainly not helping is that now local officials are encouraging even more drastic measures of activism.
I read the leadership over there. Just get your members in order.
An explosive TikTok video now the center of a possible FBI investigation in LA County.
Don't be trying to claim no black, no nothing if you're not showing up right now.
For about 90 seconds, City of Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez calls on gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
You guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Sorrento. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
The controversial video was shared last week and has since been deleted.
In elke moment kan de overleven van zaken met alles zoveel beter.
This is crazy. So here we have a local elected official, a vice mayor, who's calling for gangs to join in this anti-ICE activism, as we'll call it. This is terrible. These people, they're part of the problem. They're the ones that go headline surfing and accept this narrative that things happening in this country are wrong, when this is wrong. And even though vice mayors are not directly elected, they are appointed by an elected representative. They're in a position of power. And calling for actions like this is very dangerous when you've got a public platform. This reveals that what's happening in America shows that the minds of some of us have been totally taken over by propaganda. And when local leaders come out and say stuff like this, it gives credibility to this low information narrative that Americans are somehow in danger from ICE. It's something we all know is demonstrably false.
Wrote literally a TikTok, adding she believes this is a First Amendment rights issue.
And they're using our brown bodies to avoid the conversation that this administration is a failure.
Gonzalez seen earlier this month at a press conference with LA area mayors.
If she's a personal friend, I know her, and I know that she wouldn't call for violence.
I mean, she just did. Huntington Park Mayor Arturo Flores condemns Gonzalez's video.
Words are important, and so you have to be very careful about what you say and how you say it.
While now urging local police to verify identities of those believed to be federal agents.
So now am I able to operate with impunity?
So this guy right here, he says that, oh, this mayor, she didn't actually call for violence. And look at him, he obviously hates ICE. He doesn't like federal law enforcement. He doesn't think they're out there making the country safer. He's very upset that agents are out there doing their job. And look at this madness. You've got ICE agents being surrounded by protesters at their hotels. Can you imagine if these lunatics had the names and home addresses of these agents or their family members? If those were leaked online, they would be at their houses. They would be tracking their kids down at school. They'd be tracking down their wife at the grocery store. And for these people to say that this is some sort of First Amendment rights issue and that they're being persecuted for expressing their views, I mean, that is just ridiculous.
And you've seen the video from beginning to end, Matthew. Is there a really obvious threat? Is she calling for violence?
For about 90 seconds, City of Cudahy Vice Mayor Cynthia Gonzalez calls on gang members to defend their territory from ICE.
You guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Sorrento. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you.
Okay, I mean, if that's not a call for violence, I don't know what is. Gangs don't have round table civil discussions with tea and crumpets to work out their differences. Oh no, and she even refers to these gangs and how they mark their territory and how they quote unquote defend it. And now there's a new gang in town, which is getting it. Oh, there's not a P value. She's calling for gang on gang activity here. Well, what do you think? Should this person be in jail? What about the U.S. citizens that are out there attacking federal agents? Should they be arrested? It looks like they are getting arrested and charged with crimes. And what about this idea that ICE is fighting a battle against an insurrection of people who've been convinced into believing something that's not actually true? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
I'm going to prison, and there's no getting out of it. Wait, no, that's not the right cut. Okay, there we go. I'm going to gain on a prison black.
And on this specific prison laptop, right here. Okay, prison laptop. There's got to be more to it than that, right? There isn't just one manufacturer out there making every single laptop for every single prison. And for all I know, there totally is. But this one in particular is the Secure Book 5, made by a company called Justice Tech Solutions. And to be honest with you, I absolutely love this. This is my childhood right here, man. Well, not that I was like a child person, but you know, I mean like all the transparent tech from back in the day. You know, like the controllers, Game Boys, iMac, phones. Everything back then was transparent. That's half the reason I even got an interest in technology in the first place. Like, yeah, big box go beep beep boop make cool things happen. But then if you look one layer deeper, you'll see that the beep beep booping is happening in there. It looks like somebody had the same idea as me. They've already gotten into this thing. No screws in any of the screw posts. On one hand, that makes my job easy. On the other hand, we're probably going to run into some unspeakable horrors. Oh no. Hold on, I've already found one. Dude, why are all the screws in the corner? This is like in an ant hill where the ants just take all the dead bodies of all the other ants and just throw them in a pile. Very cool. I'm guessing we can probably thank a magnet for that, because they're not really going anywhere. Oh, that sounds real nice. So without further ado, let's get her open. Alright, which prison shank are we going to be using first? I think I'll do this one. As far as getting this thing open, it looks like somebody else has already committed some sins here. So considering the damage has already been done, I think I'll just follow in their footsteps. Oh wow. Oh, they weren't kidding with the name. It is quite the secure book, utilizing the tried and true method of security through giant plastic clips. But clearly, get it because it's clear, their security is no match for me. You know, I feel like I'd be pretty popular in prison. I could just round up everybody's prison laptop and install games to it. I'd be the toast of the town. Except that the Department of Corrections already beat me to it, the rounding up everybody's laptop part at least. So these prison laptops have a bit of a history. Ray Wenting bought one of these laptops and posted about it on Twitter, which is how I found out about it. And he busted this thing wide open. I'm going to be using some of his research to do some gaming. But apparently the Department of Corrections here in Washington State also saw this Twitter thread, and they took 1,200 incarcerated students' laptops away because of it. And yeah, that's pretty rough. Especially because those students were trying to get their college degrees, and that's going to kind of slow down the process to not have a computer. And that whole thing just seems a bit ridiculous to me. Because as you'll see in today's video, getting into this thing is going to require a little more than just a toothbrush shank. Okay, I don't mean physically, because yeah, I guess we just kind of get into it with nothing but a shank. But I'm talking about like software. You'll see what we have to do with this thing, and it's not something that anybody incarcerated could pull off. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. I haven't done any of it yet, so we're going to find out together. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Just wanted to bring it up. But back to gaming. Appears to be a SATA port, completely unpopulated. I don't know if this thing had a hard drive at some point and then it was just removed. I don't know. We got a mystery port here. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. This is a prison port? And don't let anybody else near your prison port. You don't want anyone else going into that thing. Stray screw number 1. This right here is an itty bitty little wireless chip. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, all that good stuff. Stray screw number 2, there we go. This battery, battery. Like, bulging? It's just not mounted correctly. Oh, you want to know why? Yeah, that would do it. Stray screws 3, 4, 5. Very cool. I wonder if there's any more under there. Let's just take the whole battery.
Oh, thank goodness you found me! I had to tell you about today's sponsor, PCBWay!
PCBWay wants to bring your crummy project up to a 10 out of 10. Look, see this? It's trash. Exactly. Why are you even bothering to make a circuit by hand when you could have made something nice and beautiful that actually works by using PCBWay? Look at that beautiful white PCB. PCBWay offers unlimited customization for your project. So that your boards can be just as unique as you. And if you're only as unique as a run-of-the-mill green PCB, then hey, you know what? That's okay, because sometimes that's all anyone ever needs. PCBWay is running a design contest right now for their 10th anniversary. The winner will receive $1,000 in cash, with the 2 runner-ups receiving a $200 credit toward any future orders with PCBWay. They're also offering free prototyping services for any badges that meet their design requirements, as well as a $50 site credit. You get that just for entering. And some designs will end up featured by PCBWay, but only one will become their official badge for their 10th anniversary. So bust out your PCB design software of choice and show the world what you can make by visiting the link in the description. One more screws under the battery. You know, they're all just piled here. I think we can get all those in one blow. Who has the stronger magnet now, prison laptop? Pathetic. Alright. This sits flushing out, so that's good. I just noticed something from the screws that were in the corner. Look at that. Tri-wing. This is a Nintendo prison laptop. Mario, if you can hear me, I'm gonna get you out, don't worry. If we're gonna free Mario, we gotta power this thing on. Ooh, that's a tiny boy. I give you my bringest word that I do not have that cable. You know what that means? We're gonna do some shady shit. Okay, the cover says it takes 12 volts, and I have no reason to disagree with that. So we'll turn on this guy, set him to 12 volts, and we're ready to charge, Bambino. What are the odds that this is not center positive? I think it's probably pretty low. And there we go. We have an LED. I take it this is a good LED? Kind of blinking the headphone icon. Okay, I'm gonna assume it's charging. Now, what are the odds that I can kind of just... Yeah, this is fine. You love this. You love this. Power button right here. We have another LED. And... haha, look at that. Okay. Oh, actually, I think this is fun. For a second there, I was getting flashbacks of the Sega gaming PC. Oh, that is not good. That is really not good. I'm pretty sure that Wenting already found the BIOS password. But this setup is kind of terrible. Hold on, we can do better. I think a lot of you are strongly going to dislike this solution. Normally I'd tell you not to try this, but this worked so well that I would be doing you a disservice to say that to you. Absolute win, Molex is the champion, and you still got a Molex to use for something else. Amazing. Power on. Alright, Wenting, what's the password? Oh, no way. This isn't the password, but apparently these came with a 240GB SSD that is literally China brand. That is fantastic. That's going to be hard to beat. But it appears that the password is N%, open parenthesis, lowercase d, uppercase U, 32, lowercase p. Gotta love that. Gotta love when other people do the work for you. Let's say we peruse this BIOS, huh? Oh, wait. There's nothing to peruse. There's just a security tab. That's it? Nothing else? You know what? If the secure book does not live up to its name, they care about one thing and one thing only. Security. What?
La testa senza praticamente avec minimum.
So that's it, huh? No other settings? Okay. Save. Exit. So I guess the next step is to install an SSD? I think today I'll use my billion reservoir SSD. Only the finest of storage for the finest of prison laptops. And I got Ubuntu. This laptop doesn't have a single USB port. Not on this side, not on this side, and not on any other side. And if I remember correctly, the way that Wenting booted an operating system over USB was with none other than the trackpad. And I swear this makes sense. I swear to you. Let me tell you why. The trackpad connects to the rest of the laptop with this cable. This cable carries a USB signal. So what we can do is take this here USB hub, cut off the end of the cable, wire it to where this goes, and now we have USB ports. This is ridiculous, but I think it's kind of the only way. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I forgot to mention, this insane laptop has a whitelist of hard drives that it's willing to boot off of. And the hacky way around that is to install your operating system to here, and then use a flash drive with a tool like Refind or something that kind of pass the boot off to another device to actually get the system booted. OS is here, bootloader is here, and that was the plan. But now, I have discovered that there is a patched BIOS that gets rid of this issue entirely. However, to flash the BIOS, I need to boot an operating system. Either that or I flash the BIOS chip on the motherboard directly, like a Raspberry Pi and soldering to the motherboard, and that sounds kind of bad. But either way, we have options. And since I don't really feel like busting out the Raspberry Pi right now, we are going to just tap into the touchpad. And it should actually be surprisingly easy. Data minus, data plus, ground from wherever, and 5 volt from right here. That's all 4 connections that you need for USB. Do it, just 4. Easy enough. And then all we gotta do is use the multimeter to figure out where these are actually going. Alright, I know where everything has to go now. And with the magic of editing,